Good morning, everyone. Hi, how are you? Today we're going to do some reading together. We're going to share our text of the week, but this week's text is not a story. If a story is called fiction, what do you think we're going to read today? If we are not reading a story, so we are not reading fiction, what type of text do you think we might be reading today? You're right, it's not a story. But what do we call pieces of writing that are not stories? We call them non-fiction. And we're going to be reading a non-fiction text today. Non-fiction texts teach us something new. They might teach us how to make something, like a recipe. They might tell us what our friends are doing, like in a letter. Or, like today, it's a piece of sorry, jumbled my words. It's a text all about facts. So this is going to be an information piece that is going to teach us some facts all about a topic. Okay, now you bear with me whilst I share my screen and then we can have a look at today's non-fiction text together. Can you see it? Okie dokie then. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Can you see it now? Perfect. So today's non-fiction text is all about teddy bears, old and new. As we read through this piece, we are going to think about two things, okay? We are going to try and remember some of the facts that we learned today as we read. So we're going to try and remember some pieces of information. But what we're also going to do is we're going to try to come up with our own comments about what we have read, our own ideas, our own opinions, and our own thoughts about what we've read. So we're not just sitting back, letting the words wash over us. Instead, we are actively listening and actively thinking about what we are reading, trying to remember the information that we are being told, and trying to think of our own comments. What would you say to me in class if I was reading this to you and you wanted to put your hand up? Okay, so should we find out then about teddy bears, old and new? Cool, let's dive in. In 2002, it was the 100th birthday of the teddy bear. Wow. Do you know, if I wanted to remember a piece of information from today's writing, that might be a fact that I remember. 100th birthday. And if I had to make a comment or talk about what I just read, I would say, wow, teddy bears have been around for a really long time. So when I want to make an opinion or comment on what I've just read, I just think, what would I say to somebody? How do I feel about that piece of information? I feel surprised by how old teddy bears are. If I wanted to tell somebody else about that fact, I would say, did you know teddy bears are over 100 years old? So I've remembered my facts, and then I would add my opinion on. Did you know teddy bears are over 100 years old? Isn't that amazing? They are really, really old. Let's keep reading to see if we can collect any more facts. The teddy bear was invented in Germany and in America. So two different places. In 1902, that was over 100 years ago, a president called Theodore Roosevelt, but his nickname was Teddy, he went out hunting for a bear. Oh no, he went out to try and catch a bear. But it's okay. Teddy Roosevelt couldn't find and catch one. Phew, I'm quite glad about that, aren't you? Wonder if you can remember the name of that president. I wonder if you can tell me what you think about his name. Imagine being called Teddy. Wow. Okay, I'm going to say that fact and I'm going to add my opinion onto it. There was a president called Teddy. And I think that's a really funny nickname. Let's keep reading, find out some more facts. That same month, some shopkeepers decided to make a soft bear toy, which they named Teddy's Bear. Everyone wanted one. Oh, wow. Okay, so the fact there is that they made their bear and called it Teddy's Bear. And my opinion is, I think they were being a bit cheeky, don't you? Do you think they were laughing at the president when they made him the bear? Because he couldn't catch a real one. So they made him a toy one. Oh my. The fact is that they made Teddy's bear. But my opinion is, I think that was very cheeky of them. I think they were being a bit cheeky. But look, everybody wanted one. Can you think why? Would you like one that looks just like this? I wonder. At the same time, in Germany, Steiff bears became famous. Oh wow. Can you remember when we read earlier that both Germany and America started making bears at the same time? Look at that. Oh, I don't know if I'd like a Steiff bear. Don't look quite like the bears that I'm used to. These bears look very different to the ones we buy today. But how are they different? Do you think? Can you talk to your grown-up and have a think? How are these bears different to the teddy bears you might have at home? You could pause the video now if you wanted to talk about it. Dan, did you spot any differences? I think I could spot a few. Old bears were stuffed with wooden shavings. They were not very cuddly. And in fact, when I look at him, I would describe that bear as being quite stiff or firm. That means he's not very cuddly at all. They also had very long arms. Did you notice that? The arms of these teddy bears were much longer than perhaps the ones you have at home. And a real big difference is they often had glass eyes. Well, I have a little baby at home, and trust me, I don't think that I would like to have a teddy bear at home with glass eyes. I think that would be quite dangerous, don't you? Now, I've had a good go at remembering facts and making comments about them. Do you think you could remember a fact about how old bears were made or what they look like? And do you think you could tell me an opinion on it? Do you like that? Do you think that's a good idea to stuff a teddy bear like that? Or do you not think that's a very good idea at all? Can you pause the video now and have a go at saying your fact and what you think of it, your comment? Have a go. Did they do well, mums and dads? Did they speak in full sentences? I hope so. Shall we keep going? Over time, teddies became softer. They became cuter. Their eyes were made of plastic. They became more colourful. And they started wearing clothes. Wow. Teddy bears have changed a lot, haven't they? Do you think you could have a go at telling me a fact about how they have changed and what you think about it? So, for example, you might say, teddy bears are more colourful and I really like pink teddy bears. Do you want to have a go? Pause the video now and see if you can say a nice big long sentence all about a fact and your opinion of it. Off you go. How did they do, mums and dads? Oh, I hope they were able to speak in a nice big sentence for you. Hope they told you a fact about a teddy bear. Let's keep going then. We're nearly finished. More than 100 years on, teddy bears, old and young, find themselves more popular than ever before. I'm going to take a minute to really look at those pictures of those bears. My goodness, look at that little baby holding the bear there. That looks nothing like a teddy bear that would have been in my baby's nursery, does it? Completely different. But look at that big cuddly one in the mirror, in the middle. I think that one looks lovely. Now, before we go, I would like to have a little bit of fun with you. So we've read and found out about how teddies have changed over the years. You've told me some facts about them, and you've told me what you think about them. But before we go, I wondered if your mums and dads would like to have a trip down memory lane. Potentially, this might open up a big can of worms. Do you recognise any of these famous teddy bears? I'm sure some mums and dads might recognise some of them, even if the children don't. Perhaps it would be a really nice idea for mums and dads to talk about a teddy that is special to them. Maybe a teddy that they had as a child and why it was special to them. Or maybe a teddy from a TV programme that they used to watch and why it was special to them. And children, we can keep practicing those skills of remembering facts and saying comments about them. If your mum and dad can tell you about a teddy bear that is special to them, do you think you could try and remember an important fact about that bear? And do you think you could tell me what you think about it? I would be really interested to see what you do. You could have a go at writing it down if you wanted to, or you could record it in a clip, that's fine. I hope you enjoyed learning about teddy bears old and new. And I hope that you give your teddy bear an extra big squeeze today. I'll see you soon. Bye.